and welcome back to my channel. If you're new around here, I am Yvette and I moved to London in May this year. So I've been here almost 6 months now and I'm making some videos about my experience here. Now, for this video, I wanted to do some of my favourite British cities that aren't London. On my British culture shock video, I got a few comments telling me to get outside London and explore what explore what Great Britain has to offer. They're not wrong, but I don't think they know who I am, or there must not be subscribers because you guys know I'm a travel blogger. I go everywhere. So I have been outside London, not as much as I would like. So in this video I was going to highlight my absolute favourite must-do places to go for all of you guys that love to travel as well, because I know there's a lot of you. And then also my wish list. So if you guys are British, because I know there's a lot of British guys that watch me as well, if you're from any of the places that I want to go, or you have been and have any tips or advice, please tell me below, because they're high up on my wish list of places I'm going to go visit very, very soon. So one of my favourite places to visit in the UK that is not London is Edinburgh. I think Scotland is so underrated. I feel like a lot of people come and do their Euro trip and they do, you know, London, Paris, Switzerland, Rome, and then they go home. Like roughly that track. So few people I know have actually gone to Scotland, and Scotland is so great. And I've been to Glasgow and Edinburgh, but for the sake of this video I was only going to put one in because I was like, otherwise I'd just be like, all of Scotland. In terms of why I love Edinburgh specifically, Edinburgh has the best architecture. I love it so much. It looks like Game of Thrones, like, which I know is probably not a good thing anymore because of that finale, but we won't talk about it. You just feel so medieval. The streets, the Royal Mile is amazing. All the shops are in theme. There's always lots of like bagpipes and men in kilts, which is very immersive and introducing you to the culture, which is beautiful. And they have Edinburgh Castle there. I love a castle, as you know. It is very medieval, very well restored. I've been to a lot of castles that are falling apart. This one is not that. You can go through all the rooms, get on top of the hill and overlook the entire city on a good day, which is the harder part to find because it's Scotland. You can see it for so long into the Highlands and also into the farmland. It's beautiful. Edinburgh and Glasgow, actually. Glasgow has more vegan food, but Edinburgh has some really good vegan options. I managed to find vegan haggis when I was there. Like, that's amazing. By definition, it is meat on meat on meat, if you know what haggis is. So I was so happy that I could find something that would allow me to experience the culture, but also fit my, diet. Also love the people. I don't know how I've left that to last. The people are so sweet. They're so funny. I think Scottish humour is my favourite. They will tell it how it is. They don't care. It's amazing. I just love the brashness and the slang they have. If you're Scottish, please leave some slang down below. I love it so much. Oh, and the national pride of Iron Brew, the drink, which for any Australians is basically Fanta, but don't tell the Scots that. So yes, Edinburgh. I've raved on enough, but I love Edinburgh. I love Scotland. It's a big must-do if you're coming to the UK. Another great day trip. So if you're coming to the UK on holiday and I highly recommend you get out of the city. So there's two options that I recommend. One of them is Bath. I went to Bath on my first trip when I came here in 2015. I love it so much. It is a Roman town. It is in the West Country. Could be wrong, probably going to get some hate, but it's kind of near the Cotswolds, but not quite the Cotswolds. Yes, so it's Roman. It was built by the Romans, and they have this massive Roman bath, which is where it gets the name, and you can go in and it's all intact, and you can see the infrastructure that the Romans had, which as a history nerd, I love. The water's still there. It's like a bright green. There's about 1 million signs telling you not to touch it. Daniel still tried though, but I restrained him, thank God. And they do have a tap. You can drink the clean water because it's a mineral hot spring. It's supposed to be for, I think, cleansing, and I'm sure there was all sorts of reasons the Romans built it, but you can actually get some of the actual mineral water and drink it, I think. Well, I drank it. I hope I could have drunk it. But that's just the bath. And then the whole town is this beautiful sandstone everywhere, and it's like so beautiful and well kept and historic. Jane Austen lived there. There's also the Bath Cathedral, which is very stunning. Beautiful high streets, lots of shops. They have this beautiful park in the middle as well, which seems to be below the city, if that makes any sense. Probably sounds weird. Where you can go in and get beach chairs, and they had like a gazebo with live music. It was so beautiful, such a nice day trip. When I did it as a day trip from London, and I went and saw Stonehenge and then to Bath and then home for the day, but you could easily spend more time in Bath. I highly recommend it. The other day trip people commonly do outside of London, which I did more recently, was Oxford. So Oxford is obviously known for the university, however, it's still worth visiting regardless if you're not academically minded. So many people went to the university, Cambridge and Oxford, and it's so fun to go and step where the geniuses stepped. Like Oxford, I think, has been since 1201. Like, it's older than most countries, and it's still a university. So you can go there. They also filmed Harry Potter there. It's kind of a bit similar to Bath in that it's all sandstone and stunning, but it's even more built up than Bath. So yeah, and the cathedrals, and you can go to the top of a spire and look out across all of the sandstone buildings and the little streets and the little houses, and it's beautiful. Highly recommend Oxford. I have to go back because I want to do it again. Another great day trip, because I've done so many day trips because of all the times I've been to London before I moved here, is Brighton. I want to go back to Brighton. I haven't been since I moved, but I went last year when I was here. Brighton is a seaside town, and it feels almost like you're stepping back to the 1950s. I don't know. I get that vibe. You've got the Brighton Pier, you've got the little lanes of all the little shops everywhere. It's really, really nice, really quaint, beautiful cafes, little shops. There's an infamous chocolate shop called Chocky Wocky Doodah. If you've been to that, let me know. I haven't, but it looks amazing. I've just gone and seen the cakes in the window. If you're a chocolate fiend, you definitely need to go. It's like a bucket list place. The beach there also has pebbles, which, as an Australian, that was a novelty for me because I'm used to sand. But honestly, I'm not against the pebbles. I'm into it. Sand gets everywhere. I don't like it. I like having pebbles. You know where they are. You're not going to get home and have them all through your pants. But yeah, if you can line up a really nice day in summer and go to Brighton, very good. And you could go swimming, and they have beach chairs, have an ice cream on the boardwalk. So good. Although there's one weird thing. I went to Brighton and I went through the pier, and they have all of like the arcade games, like, which is kind of reminds me of like Lost Boys, which is so weird because I know it's American, and then you go inside the building on the pier, and in the building it's got arcade games, but right next to it has slot machines. In Australia, we have really strict gambling laws, and if I, as an underage person, went into the slot machine area, I would be reprimanded and tossed out. Like, you could not go, even if your parent was on it, you were not allowed to be in that area. There were really strict rules. So it blew my mind because I had to do a special certificate to work in a bar, like gambling. I had to brush up on all my gambling laws and get a certificate to say I won't break them. My RSA for any Australians watching. But yeah, so it blew my mind to see that they had literally just mixed together the arcade games and the slot machines. So teaching kids that they're the same, which is such a bad idea. And then I couldn't film in there because I was making a video. So yeah, I couldn't film in there. So that also made it seem like a gambling thing, like I was in Vegas and I couldn't film. I'll put a link to the video up in the card so you can go watch it for yourself. But yeah, Brighton, beautiful day out, love it, go to it. The lanes are beautiful. I have to go back. My next one isn't a city. I know this is my like favorite British cities, but I wanted to put it on the list anyway because I loved it so much, and I felt bad leaving it out. But I've been to Wales, the country. I know it's not a city, but I couldn't pick one city that I loved so much, so I just wanted to put it all in because it was so great. If you have the time to do the road trip, I highly recommend doing a Welsh road trip. I have videos, I'll link them around. Highlights, I really loved Conwenny Castle. Cowaney? Probably saying it wrong, you tell me in the comments. Cowaney was beautiful. Like the castle, you could run around. It was half falling apart, but not quite, but they had full reign to run around and go up top turrets and everything. It was so nice. And it's on this bay with this beautiful harbour, and you can get fish and chips and sit by it. And then we left there and we went to like the longest town name in the UK and took a photo in front of the sign at the train station, which is just a fun novelty. But my highlight of all of Wales was Snowdonia National Park. The landscape there was amazing, and I had bad weather and I still loved it, so I can only imagine how nice it is if you go in the right season, unlike me. So Wales was the first road trip I did when we moved to the UK. First trip outside of London, because we didn't have any accommodation, we hadn't signed any leases yet, and we couldn't do anything, so I was like, well, what's the point of being in London if I can't do it right? So we left. So we went to Wales. Also, highlights was Tenby, was beautiful seaside town. I had awful weather, but if you have good weather, it'd be stunning. It's like seaside town with these like beautiful rainbow colored buildings, and once again you get fish and chips by the sea and ice creams. It'd be so nice in the summertime. And then obviously Cardiff. You can't say Wales without Cardiff, the capital. I think it's the capital, or is it Swansea? I'm pretty sure it's Cardiff. Cardiff's the capital. Cardiff was great. I really loved the castle there. You'll see a theme. I really like castles. So if there's a castle, I'm there. But I like this castle because it was very well kept. One thing I love about Wales as a collective is that they love their dragon so much. If you're watching Bake Off at the moment, Michelle doesn't go 10 minutes without being like, I'm Welsh. They're so proud and I love it so much. Also, they're the nicest people. I don't think I've met anyone that nice. Like, they're just, nothing's too big. They're always so positive and so friendly, and oh, I love them. I love them so much. Also, you can try Welsh cake when you're there. So definitely worth a visit out to Wales. On that same road trip to Wales, I went to a UK town called Chester, which is very villagey, historic. It has the pews. Am I going to say that wrong? I kept saying it wrong on the day. It is like these old buildings from like the 1500s. And it's just a really cute town. It's like the only fully walled city in the UK left from the Romans. A lot of Roman influence. But yeah, if you're doing the Wales road trip, you can do it on the same one like I did, or make a special trip out. Chester was beautiful, very quaint, lovely little village. The last one on my list of places I've been that I love and recommend is one that's very small and just outside London. But I think it's worth a visit because it's really sweet if you just want to get away from the hustle and bustle, you know? Sometimes you don't want to go and have like a full-on road trip around Wales. I get it. St Albans, I've just been because I met a friend there for brunch. I met a friend there for brunch the other week, and it was my first time there, so I loved it. It's really clean, nice, beautiful, very florally. They have an amazing church that we walked down to, and you can go in, and it looks very War of the Roses influence with the badges and everything. And it's only 30 minutes from where I live, and I live in zone 3 of London. So you can see how it's not that far. Still very much, if you live in London, you can go, but it is almost like a little break away from the hustle and bustle because it's so much more calm and quiet. But yeah, I really liked St Albans. So doesn't have the profile of say Bath or Edinburgh, but I think it's worth the mention anyway. Get the little town in. As you can see, I like little villages and towns, so please tell me any that you recommend in the comments, because I want to see more of things that are just outside the M25, you know? Obviously the UK has so much more to offer, so I wanted to go through my top wish list of places I plan to go very soon, and if you currently live or been to any of these places, give me your recommendations, or give me all new places that you recommend, because I'm keen to go everywhere. Number 1, I should have gone already, but Cotswolds. I haven't been to the Cotswolds. It looks so fairy tale villagey. I grew up on Eden Blyton books with all the fairies and little cottages and thatched roofs. So I really want to go to the Cotswolds, but I don't know the best season, and that's kind of what stopped me going. I was like, should I go in summer? But autumn could be cool with all the changing leaves. I don't know. I'm pretty keen to go though. That's like very high up on my wish list. I have been to 43 countries, and yet I haven't been to Ireland. Isn't that awful? I need to go to Ireland, and I need to go to Northern Ireland. I know Ireland isn't in the UK, but I wanted to give it an honourable mention anyway, because if you're going to do Northern Ireland, you're going to do Ireland, you know? But yes, Northern Ireland, Belfast. I love the Titanic, so I'm so keen to go to the Titanic Museum, which is so nerdy, but I'm into it. And then they also have the Giant's Causeway and the big trees from Game of Thrones, which I think might be closed. I'm not too sure now, but I really want to do that stuff. So any Irish recommendations, I'll take Ireland as well. I know it's not UK, don't come for me. The Republic of Ireland, I know. I really want to go to Bristol. I haven't done Bristol yet, and I know it's near the Cotswolds. And the reason I want to go to Bristol so bad is because Banksy's there, or he started there, and there's so much Banksy walking tours, and I would love to do that and just check out the city for what it is. But yeah, it's high on my list to do a weekend in Bristol and check out all the art stuff and any hipster recommendations you have. I've also not been to Cornwall, which I'm definitely going to do next summer. I think I'm going to do a road trip down to Cornwall and just check out the seaside there. It seems so beautiful and blue and sandy and nice. So I feel like not many people talk about Cornwall. It's one of the things that I think Brits grow up going to Cornwall, so no one really talks about it. That's like the equivalent of me growing up going to Queensland, the Gold Coast. So I don't really talk about it because it's like just normal to me. Oops, sorry. Welcome to London. I also want to go to Dover because I love Broadchurch. If you've watched my TV show, my favourite TV shows, you know I love Broadchurch. And that was like set around the Dover area, and also the White Cliffs of Dover are supposed to be very spectacular, and I want to go check those out and all the little villages around there. Also want to go to Manchester and Liverpool because I haven't done anything Beatles related. I know, how have they let me in the country? Like, I have to go do that stuff. Also, I'm really interested in the Industrial Revolution, which is all kind of Manchester area. So I have to check that out. That might be happening in December. We'll see. Last on my list is York. I only hear good things of York. Everyone just talks about how beautiful it is. I think there's a street that looks like Diagon Alley, which also is a massive selling point for me because of Harry Potter. But yeah, so I'm keen to go to York as well. It's supposed to be very historic and lovely. So I don't know when I'm going to get time to do all this, so this will be spread out over a few years, I'm sure, but very excited to try it all. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and tell me in the comments below any and all recommendations for these places or new ones. I'm always keen to learn about somewhere else to go in the UK. And remember to hit subscribe so I can see you next time when I inevitably go to these places and tell you about it or film it.